Okay, so I have an interesting scenario. I'd love to hear your take on it.
Okay.
So let's imagine let's make it a little bit richer than usual. Let's say that you have 5 variations,
Mhm.
and and let's assume that 3 of those 5 are converting more than the other 2, and
Mhm.
especially one is converting the highest. And there's like quite a difference, like converting at 40% when the next one down is at like 28%.
Okay.
And then you've got a couple that's about running at 4, 5, 6%. As you know, Amazon search will automatically bring that high performing ASIN in the search results,
Yeah.
the main product picture. What do you do with those 5 variations? Do you keep them together or do something else?
So again, Amazon is going to be looking at how many units are being sold at the parent level. The other thing to also take into consideration is if you split those variations out, how is that then going to impact your reviews? Because if the top seller, or let's say your top seller has an average of a 4, and then the other 4 variations actually have a 4.5 average, you want to keep them on there because that will improve your average review ranking as well as count.
Mhm. Yeah, so I am. So this is. I have not done this. I have not done this myself, but I've had conversations about it with a couple of fairly deeply involved people in terms of numbers and things to do. And what happens is when you do a search and you in the search results, the listing comes up. When you click on it, first of all, the main product picture that's displayed is always the highest performing of those
So,
variations,
so
right?
not always. It really depends on what the customer searched. So let's say you have 5 different colors within these variations, right? And the black is your top seller. Neutral colors are always best sellers. And the customer actually searches red widget.
Sure.
The red one should show in Amazon's search results page.
But what if you don't have color, but you simply have sizes or
Mhm.
packs, single, 2 pack? People hardly search the pack. So, and if
It,
the three
it
pack is selling the most, that's going to come up, right?
Yeah, technically, Amazon shows whatever variation has sold the most based on
Right.
that search query.
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, in general, it's going to be your top seller, but occasionally you'll find a scenario where maybe your number 2 or your number 3 top selling variation is the one that populates because for whatever reason, for that specific query, it converts best.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, the conversations that I've had, the argument was if you have multiple variations and some of them are performing better than the others, they are basically cannibalizing the sales of the substandard ones where they're not getting the exposure. And therefore, it is better to separate those out. It
Hmm.
may impact the sales of the main parent, so to speak, but create another parent and put those separately and drive traffic to them separately. That way you may see a little bit of a drop on the main one, but you will definitely see an increase on the others. As far as reviews, that's a very good question and definitely could be a blunder if it's not considered. And again, I have not seen this in action,
Mhm.
but I am told that maybe you can confirm. Amazon has a way of associating reviews with individual child ASINs,
Yep.
right? Is that true?
That is true, but then if they're under the same parent, then it accumulates, it adds them all
Right.
up.
So when you separate them, then the reviews will go with the separated child ASIN, right?
That is correct, although that does come with a warning label because we have seen scenarios where you split them out and you lose some reviews for whatever reason. And that first 24 hours is a little scary because you can lose them and sometimes they'll come back. But we also have seen scenarios where, maybe you lost 50 reviews in that process.
Yes, yes. Yeah, with Amazon, those things happen.
They sure do.
This is a real intense conversation. I love conversations like this because it takes things. It's one thing to talk strategy, but at the end of the day, it's execution is what matters, and these are the things that people run into when they're executing their strategy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.